Alrighty, so week 17 in CIT 93, really our last week of content for the course, and it's pretty doable because there's really nothing new you have to do, but I am going to ask for your input and also thank you for this semester. But before I do that, I'd like to just go over the end of the semester dates because I realized I had just published a few minutes ago, and you might go, well, when was that? Well, May 4th, because May the 4th be with you. Have you ever heard that? I suspect most of you may have. Some of you may not be. Some of you may not be of the generation that knows May the 4th be with you. Either way, all good. So let's talk about the end of the semester as far as making sure you understand the, because I talked about the technical interview already and when you needed to sign up for that and the last date to do it. But I also wanted to just bring in the calendar today because you can tell what day it is. May the 4th be with you. And then we have an attendance. This is the attendance, and then you'll have a share out that I'll do a short video for. And then coming into week 18, there's really only this, which is the last day to do the interview. But you should know that on the 15th is the last date to be on the schedule. But there are some other important dates for the end of the semester that we need to talk about. First, Tuesday the 19th, right? So if we look at here, we roll into that final week. The 19th at end of day is the last day to submit late work and use a pass. Okay. So if you have not used any passes, this is definitely where you should go use them. And if I was to say where would I use them, or if you wanted me to suggest, it would be on your project work because they have the biggest impact on your grade. And because the technical interview is not due until the last day of the actual course, there's really nothing there you can do as far as late. Just do it, would be my general suggestion. So now that jumps over Tuesday, and then at Thursday at noon. Okay, so this jumps over the end of the technical interview, but this day, Thursday at noon, is the last that you can submit any work for the course. Okay, so of course, working ahead would be really great because that would give you the chance to know where you end up in the class and use those late passes if you have them. Okay. But if you don't get to doing it by Tuesday at end of day, Thursday at noon is the last day I'll take any work in the course. And then Friday morning is the last time to ask for questions regarding your grade. And in general, you really could have been asking me, and I would have hoped, and many of you have reached out if there's ever a question. But I just want you to know that because once I wake up Friday morning fairly early, actually do the final documentation of my grades, submit that into the campus. You don't see them, I think, until later. But I have to have them done, so I do them Friday morning, and then I'm done. Okay. Monday the 25th, and I had mentioned this before, GitHub repos will be deleted. Okay, so if you're using CodeSpace, keep that in mind. Okay. The other thing is once you submit the final, whatever it is you're working on, and I grade it, okay, that shows up, the grade that shows up in Canvas is your grade in the course. Okay, so just know that that's true and keep that in mind as you have a goal, many of you do, for how you'd like to end up as far as a grade in the course. Okay. So just to wrap everything in, hopefully in it clear, because I've been talking about the end of the semester, I've been talking about the development environment, the technical interview. We've been rolling through the content. And Brianna and I had a great conversation today about what we're going to do different for next semester. Okay. But one thing before I get into the graded part of this, one thing I've been working on for the last 5 weeks has been proposed changes to this web developer program. Now, some of you may not be in the actual program. I know for a fact some of you are not, but there are many who are. And so I'm going to be sending out a survey next week that I will publish through the announcements. And I would really appreciate your feedback because we are in the process of considering how we are going to integrate AI into the program. And Your input is really, really valuable and really important, and this is a step that I will be taking. So if you see, and hopefully you do, that announcement next week, I should have it by next week, I would really appreciate your feedback. As I have appreciated your feedback for the course. So, which leads me in to the next item, passing the torch, right? So you have made it. You have officially reached the final week of the semester. You've tackled JavaScript logic, debugging complex functions, built a foundation as a skilled web developer. Own that, right? Okay, so for this last attendance, I'm actually asking you to help pass the torch to a future semester, next semester, for the fall 2026 students, right? I want you to imagine there's a new student sitting where you were back in week one and perhaps feeling a little nervous. Now, they're probably not going to know asynchronous. They may know variables, or working with AI tools. So, your task in this discussion is what I ask is that you provide one specific piece of advice you would give a future student to help them succeed in the class. Now, here's things to consider. Could be anything in this range, but it's really think about had somebody said to you at the beginning of the semester, what do you feel like? One piece of advice you could pass on to somebody else, because I do share this with the students coming up in the fall semester. I have AI summarize it and then I give them the actual detail because I want them to see both of those, right? So consider that and please give that. I really appreciate that because it helps other students, honestly, for whatever reason. And it's really okay. I guess at some level I get it. It's like students sometimes will listen to other students because they feel like, okay, that's my peer. They understand me better than anyone, right? And sometimes when teachers talk, it just kind of like eyes roll and maybe not. I don't, every instructor hopefully has a different experience and you have a different experience with them. Okay, so this just talks about the grading. So there's no replies, although please feel free to do it. I feel like, we've really done the replies throughout the semester, and this is really just, like what is your feedback that you would get, and if it's more than one piece of advice, yeah, that's cool too, right? All right, so that's it. Please keep these dates in mind. Look for the survey that's going to come at you next week. And I end with saying thank you, because without you, I have no job. And the world is a quickly changing place, especially as it relates to technology. It's always been true. I've been in this for more years than I'd like to count. But the changes I'm seeing right now are pretty mind blowing at times. And what I appreciate about students, so many things, really. You bring that fresh eyes to my content and you help me make it better. You're about to do that for the future students, but your feedback along the way of the course has been helpful. And I really attempt to honor your time and attention. And my goal has always been to create a quality course that you feel like the time you spent here has been of value to you. I know it's not an easy course. Some tell me it's the hardest course they take. And I don't apologize for that, but I would just tell you the world we're in, if this is a field you want to be in, does require you to level up fairly quickly. And for many of us, like this is the beginning for many of you, and it's true for me as well. I learn all the time. Is this right? Is probably the beginning of a journey that don't let it stop here. Continue on your learning of these concepts, because no matter what you do, if you're going to be in a technical field, they're going to come up at some point, understanding how to read some code to know what that stuff is doing, that stuff meaning that software. So that's my ending. Thank you so much. Without you, and I'll say it again, I have no job. And who knows what the future holds for any of us. So I just appreciate your time and attention, and getting to know you has been great because I have gotten to know most of you through this course, and I very much appreciated it. So I say, have a great summer. Always come back. Feel like if you ever have questions, please come back, ping me. You have my email address on rio.waller@fresnocitycollege.edu if you ever want to contact me directly after the end of the semester. Okay? All right. Talk to you later.